welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a new makeup releases. Luckily, there's less to talk about this week than previous weeks, so hopefully this will be somewhat short. But if you like new makeup release videos, if you like hearing my opinions on whether I'm going to be picking them up or not, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, let's just get started talking about some makeup. All right, so I'm excited that this is a little bit of a slower week. It seems that most brands have announced their holiday launches. We're over the hump, and now we're just gonna be seeing some gift sets, a few new launches here and there, but some of these videos can get really long, so I'm just happy that there's less to talk about, quite honestly. We're just gonna jump right in. I think the first thing that I want to talk about is the new Huda Beauty launch, only because we had like a sneak peek previous video. So just to wrap this up, this is the Pretty Grunge collection. Huda did kind of give a statement on her Instagram on why this launch was a little bit delayed, which I totally understand and appreciate. But this collection is launching November 1st everywhere, and I'm excited. I plan on picking at least the palette up right when it launches. There's like a little liquid lipstick set. I won't be picking that up. There's a lip oil, I think that's black, like a little lip duo lip kit type thing. Not interested in that. And then some kind of, I thought it was a highlight at first, like a silver highlight, but it's like a liquid blush gloss that adjusts to your skin's pH. It's one of those. So I don't think I'll be picking it up, even though it does look really pretty in the pan. I'm excited for this color story. I did not pick up the Empowered palette last year. This is definitely much more up my alley. And I'm also just happy with this color story because it has some neutrals while being cool toned at the same time. I think it's a good mix. Do I think it fits like the theme 100% of grunge? No, but I like the color story enough. I'm absolutely going to be picking that up. And then let's just jump into the Natasha Denona palette, the Xenon Midi palette, which already launched. And I want to talk about this next because I did pick this up right at launch. I don't know what's going on with my package because it hasn't even shipped yet, and I ordered it from the Natasha Denona website, and I'm seeing that everyone's saying their package shipped really quickly and got to them. Mine hasn't even shipped, and I ordered it on launch. But other than that, yes, I did pick it up, and I guess I'm a little bit hesitant on if I'm gonna like this palette or not. I'm definitely gonna be doing a dedicated video to this, but I'm trying not to watch reviews. I'm just seeing different swatch photos from everyone, so I have no idea what to expect. In the photo that I have, it looks like there's two kind of bright pinkier shades, and in swatches, it doesn't seem that way. So I'm a little bit hesitant on if I'm gonna like this palette or not. I don't know if it was a smart choice for me to pick up. This definitely seems, maybe, if I'm guessing, it's gonna be more of like a companion palette, which I don't know if I needed a 15 shade palette to do that, but I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna try and stay just optimistic about this. I prefer the Huda Beauty over the Natasha Denona, just from initial glance. I think that that's a better cool tone color story than this one. We'll just have to wait and see. Next up, let's talk about this freaking Colourpop palette. This is the Cloud 9 palette. Now, I did pick up the Sailor Moon and the 1111 palette, which I will link up above and down in the description box, as well as all the makeup that I'm wearing today if you're curious about what's on my face. Now, this kind of makes me a little bit bitter because I like this color story a little bit more than the 1111. And Colourpop's just a little bit more difficult for me to get here in Europe. It's not worth me placing like a whole separate order for this palette. So if I'm gonna order from Colourpop, it needs to be a few things. Maybe I'll pick this up during Black Friday, like if they do a sale. There's some other things that I could see adding to my Colourpop cart. But I just wish that I picked this one up instead of the 1111. The 1111's not bad. It's much more neutral. Like you have neutral, cool, and warm tones in there. This is a little bit more cool toned, which is why I think I just like it more. But it is what it is. There'll be other palettes I can pick up, so I'm not too bitter about it, but just a little bit, because they've just been launching things left and right. They're back to their full Colourpop launch schedule. We had a little bit of like a dip there, but they are back on track. So let's see what else they come out with before Black Friday. So maybe hopefully I can place like kind of a decent size order rather than just one palette. Now there's still a lot of palettes launching, not as much complexion products. So let's just stay on the eyeshadow train. I have this launch from Ace Beaute. This is really pretty. When does this release? This is available now. It's $38.99, and this is the Mystic Romance palette. So there's 15 shades, and I like the color story. I don't think I'm going to be picking this up though. I do need to be a little bit more selective with my eyeshadow palettes. I've said this in past new makeup release videos, but I am swimming in eyeshadow palettes. Like I'm looking over at my to be filmed pile. I still have the Odin's Eye Gems and Jewels collection to do a video on. I still have the Nomad Ghost Town USA collection to do a video on. So I think I'm good. And I think that this color story isn't special enough for me to pick up. I did also pick up the Ace Beaute floral collection, and I wasn't super impressed with that formula. So that's also kind of what's staying in the back of my mind when deciding if I want to pick this palette up or not. And it's very similar to me, just like off of swatches first glance, to the Huda Beauty, her first one, the Rose Gold palette. I think that that would easily have all the shades in this palette. So I don't think that this is one I necessarily need to pick up, but it's a decent price. And I think that for some people, it could be a really good add-on to their collection. Now, Glamlite, they just won't quit. As of right now that I'm filming, we don't have the full collection. I believe that this is going to launch October 31st at 8 a.m. PST. They have not released the pictures for the eyeshadow palette. That's what I'm trying to say here. But we do know that they're going to be having a 5-piece brush set. It kind of looks cool. It looks almost like a lava lamp. So it's clear with red dye. And I think when you turn the handles, I think that it's supposed to kind of have like that lava lamp effect, like some movement to it. I think that's cool. Then they also have a lip oil, their Killer Lip Oil, and it's in red. That's going to be $10. And the last thing so far that I see is a blush trio. I kind of like that they're doing a blush trio instead of like their duos. I mean, it's a little bit different. Nightmare on Elm Street, I would say out of all the horror movies that they've done so far, Chucky, Ghostface, Friday the 13th, like Nightmare on Elm Street's probably my least favorite. So I'm not really pulled towards this IP. I still think out of all of their horror movie collections that they've come out with, if I was to pick up any of those, it would be the Chucky palette. The Chucky palette's kind of the one that's still pulling me in, that I'm just debating on if I want to pick it up or not, but I don't think I'm going to do it immediately. We'll see what this color story looks like. I'm hoping it's a little bit more colorful, a lot less grungy. However, I've noticed the photos don't do the palettes justice, because I immediately wrote off the Friday the 13th palette, just thinking it was way too grungy. And then I saw some videos on it, and the swatches were actually much more saturated and colorful than I was expecting. Like, they were still grungy tones, but at least it wasn't just a bunch of gray shades like the Ghostface palette. I thought that the Ghostface and the Friday the 13th palette looked very similar from Glamlite's photos, but that wasn't the case whatsoever. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm thinking about this. It also just bothers me, like, Glamlite takes so long to ship, and I get it. They have tons of orders. Like, I've seen on their stories like thousands and thousands of orders, and good for them. Like, I am not upset that they're thriving in their business. Still though, it takes like over a month to get your package. And is Nightmare on Elm Street, like, am I gonna be excited about that in Christmas time, in December, by the time I get this palette? Probably not. So I think that this is just a pass for me. You'll have to let me know down below, like, which horror movie out of all of these would you pick up? Like I said, I like the Chucky one the most. This one, not so much, but I'd be interested to see like which horror movie, if you like horror movies, like you gravitate towards the most, not just color story wise, but IP wise. Continuing on the IP train though, Melt is releasing a part 2 to their Nightmare Before Christmas collection. It looks like there's a makeup bag, an eyeshadow palette, some lipsticks, and like a blush highlight duo. I think that's what it is. Oh no, they're eye gel. They're eye gels? Okay. I don't know when this comes out. I don't know the prices. Melt is a little bit more on the expensive side, so I can probably expect that. Like I mentioned for part 1, I've never seen Nightmare Before Christmas. It's not that I don't want to. I wasn't allowed to as a child, and it's on my list of just movies to watch, like cult classic movies that I need to get around to seeing, but something always just kind of gets ahead of that. So I just haven't prioritized it enough to know anything about this film. I know this character somewhat, like I've seen this character before, but no idea what it means. Nothing, none whatsoever. My dad was like very anti-magic, so that's why I wasn't allowed to watch that as a child, but I'm not gonna pick this up. I have watched some videos on some people reviewing part 1 and they really liked it, so if this pulls at your heartstrings, if you like this and you want this, get it. I'd love to know if you've seen it, if it's one of your favorite movies. I know a lot of people really, really like this movie. I need to get around to seeing this. This is my mental reminder to just stop procrastinating, and this is the perfect time to watch it. If not, I won't watch it for an entire year, and next year I'll tell myself that this is also a movie that I need to watch, and this continues on year after year after year. But now let's talk about the last IP that I have. I think this is the last IP, yeah. So this is the, who's doing this? Walmart. So I definitely won't even be able to pick this up. So this is Bratz collabing with Walmart. There is a 5-piece lip gloss set, $8, an eye palette, $8, a brush and bag set, $10, available now. This is like an immediate pass for me. I don't know why, but I hate this. I never was into Bratz when they came out. Like they kind of came out right a little bit after like my Barbie phase, I guess, like my childhood playing with Barbies. So I never really liked this to begin with. I don't know what it is about Bratz, but like I don't like it. And nothing about this is exciting, intriguing. The brush set, cute. The lip gloss, absolutely not. And the eyeshadow palettes, it actually looks like there's 2 eyeshadow palettes. I don't like any of these color stories, so this is going to be a pass for me. If you, I'd love to know if like you're into Bratz. I never really understood it. I think I was maybe like 12 or 13 when Bratz came out. So I just like was past that age. I was probably playing with Barbies until like 11 or 12. So yeah, just not, this is a no for me. No for me. I hate this. Moving on from IPs, let's talk about this just absolutely ridiculous launch. I had to save this and talk about this because I was just like, are you kidding me? So Hermes came out with their eyelash curler. And cool, good for them. If you want to buy this, you go ahead. I'm not going to judge you. However, this is a $79 eyelash curler. And I just can't imagine spending that much on an eyelash curler. I just can't. I don't use one every day. I probably should. Maybe that's what's holding me back. It looks like the only thing special about this is that it says Hermes on the eyelash curler and the little bands that you can change out, like they're in the Hermes colors. So that's cool. And like it has a nice box, but what are you going to do with the box? Are you going to keep your eyelash curler in this box? I'm trying to even put myself in the shoes of someone who has like unlimited amounts of money. I still don't think that I could justify buying a $79 eyelash curler. Can you? Like, I'd spend like $50 on an eyelash curler. Like I'd get like a good eyelash curler if money was not a problem, but I don't think I would get like a name brand eyelash curler just for shits and giggles. It kind of just reminds me, like, very gimmicky. What was it, like Gucci comes out with like tennis balls, tennis rackets, stuff like that. Like, no. I can't do this though. Let me know if you would pick it up. Like, is this on like your ultimate wish list? I just can't do it no matter the price. I wouldn't be able to. Let's see. Let's now talk about the Nabla palette. This is available now in Europe, and it is the side-by-side nude palette. And I think, if I understood correctly, this is like a smaller 9 pan, and they have like a larger side-by-side palette. I don't have too much from Nabla, and I really want to get those new kind of jelly lip sticks that they came out with, but this doesn't intrigue me. It's a bunch of neutrals. Love my neutrals. I am not dissing on neutrals, but this one's just nothing that really surprises me. Okay, the promo photo has one of those like lip sticks that I want. That's on my wish list. I'm gonna see if maybe like Beauty Bay does a sale for Black Friday or something. I definitely want to pick one of those up, but other than that, you know, I haven't tried Nabla's eyeshadow formula. If you have and they're excellent and you recommend it, let me know. But for me, it's not something I need to have just right now. It's not special enough for holiday for me to justify it. This though, I'm going to talk about this and just kind of call myself out. These are the new Chanel oversized illuminating powders. They're $95 each, and there's 4 different embossings and 3 different colors. First, before we talk about this, let's roll the clip from last new makeup release video and just see what I had to say about Chanel and talk about the Chanel holiday launch. I mentioned this in my last Will I Buy It. I did purchase the Chanel Equinox blush, and I kind of just decided that I was done with Chanel for the rest of the year. This collection, while it's pretty, yeah. So if you guessed it, I didn't follow my own rules. Here it is. I haven't opened it yet. It's kind of sitting in this beautiful, beautiful bag. I need to do something with this because it's absolutely stunning. I love it, but it's waiting for me to do a video on, and I bought one. I bought one because I don't follow my own rules. So you'll have to wait and see for that video to see which color and which imprint I picked up, but I should have that video coming soon. I'm also going to do a video, I think, with the Charlotte Tilbury Fire Rose palette. I talked about that in one of my videos. That finally came, so I might just combine both of those together. So I bought it, even though I said I wasn't going to pick up any more Chanel. Having it be limited edition, I caved. I had a moment of weakness and I caved. It is what it is. I'm not going to regret it. I'm going to treasure it in my collection. I try to hold strong. I'm still not going to pick up the holiday collection, but this one I couldn't pass up. I don't know why, but there's that on that. Now, the next thing we have, talking about high end, is Valentino came out with these 2-in-1 eyeshadow and blush compacts. There's 2 different colors, and it's a cream to powder blush and eyeshadow that creates a visibly radiant finish. Buildable coverage, lightweight feel. Available now, and they're $52 each. This is me saying that I'm not gonna buy it. However, I do want it. I do want it. I think what's pushing me over the edge for this is the packaging. I love Valentino's aesthetic. My glasses are Valentino. Like, I love the studs. Can't get over it. It's just, I've always liked it since the first time I saw it was Michael Kors coming out with a line of purses with the studs. And since then, I've just loved everything stud related. It is what it is. And the packaging is what's pushing me over for this, but the price and the actual item is holding me back because I don't think I get much use out of this. I have 1,000,001 blushes. Like, blushes are probably, after eyeshadow palettes, the category I have the most of. So I definitely don't need this. I also just like, I'm hesitant on the claim that this is an eyeshadow blush hybrid. Like, of course you can use blush on your eyes, but is it gonna look good really? I don't know. And is it worth it to put it on your eyes when you have a ton of eyeshadow palettes probably in this color already? Probably not. So I don't know. I'm gonna hold strong. Like, if I get like some extra Christmas money, this might be like a small treat to myself, but still, like, I can't in the back of my mind get the Dolce & Gabbana highlight out of my head. And I think if I had to, you know, put the two up against each other, I would pick that Dolce & Gabbana highlight over this. So that's where I'm at for this, but I do think it's really pretty, and I do kind of want it. And I know that they actually keep their stuff limited edition, so that's also kind of just making it hard for me. But let's see, what else do we have? Let's talk about this. Wayne Goss said that he has super exciting news, and he hasn't released it yet, but I don't know. I'm kind of confused if he released it yet or not. I just have like this sign up now to be notified, but I think that he's coming out with brushes in his actual makeup line. So Wayne Goss, before he even launched eyeshadow palettes, lipsticks, lip liners, he always had makeup brushes, and they're pretty expensive natural hair makeup brushes. I know that every year for holiday, he would come out with a special limited edition brush. I don't have any Wayne Goss brushes. I've always wanted some, but they're quite pricey, and I'm just in brush overload right now. Like, I kind of separate my brushes from what I've used to what I haven't used, so I know what to clean when it's time to clean my brushes. And I even not that long ago did a brush declutter. I'll link it above if you're interested in watching it. But I decluttered a good amount of brushes, I think like 50 brushes. I don't remember. But even now, like looking at this, I'm still only using maybe a third of my brush collection. So I definitely don't need more brushes. However, like eventually one day I will get some Wayne Goss brushes. I'm hoping that's what it is, and that he kind of just has more of a core line within his makeup line, because that way they're not limited edition. You know, sometimes it gets stressful with limited edition releases. Clearly you saw me struggling with the Valentino launch. So it would be nice to know that there's not that much of a rush to have to get and spend $80 on a brush. Like, it's hard to justify that. It's hard to justify that at any point. So I hate having to feel just like the pressure, and I'm putting that pressure on myself. Like, I fully understand that this is not that deep, and at the end of the day, like, it's not that serious. So I'm hoping anyways, long story short, that he has a more core collection of brushes that are not limited edition, that are just staples in his makeup line. I think that that's a pretty smart move. That's how Wayne Goss like got on the map, is not only being a makeup artist, but releasing his brushes. So it's about time that his makeup line had a brush collection in it. And then I just have a few more things to talk about, mostly eyeshadow. I'm kind of just getting sick and tired of eyeshadows, quite honestly. Like, this is like too much for me. Last new makeup release video was 90% eyeshadows, but that's what's coming out. So Trixie Cosmetics is coming out with their Horse Girl collection. This made me chuckle. I don't know why. Like, it's such a funny name to me to like have the Horse Girl collection, because it's such, like, when you say it, I know exactly who they're speaking of, and that's what makes me laugh. Anyways, this is a 12-pan palette, $48. There's a liquid lipstick, there's a blush, and you can get the entire bundle for $64. That's a pretty good deal. There's also a notebook, a bandana set, and a crew neck if you're interested in any of that. I have not tried anything from Trixie Cosmetics. They're really not high up on my list to try either. I don't know why, like, nothing's really pulled my attention. The palette looks okay. It doesn't look like my favorite. It's just a little bit too warm toned for me, just the undertones of these shadows. Yeah, there's something about Trixie Cosmetics that just nothing stood out. Nothing's given me like a double take to look at them. So you'll have to let me know if you've tried them, if the formula is good, because if the formula is good, I might reconsider and keep an eye out for a release that calls to me. But this brand, I don't know what it is. Like, it just doesn't interest me. There's a lot of other brands that I would rather try before this one. Now, this brand I also haven't tried. This is Sugar Drizzle Polish, and they are coming out with a Halloween palette, the Elements of Evil. Now, Sugar Drizzle is a brand I would try over Trixie Cosmetics. They've been on my list to try. So this one's not for me. This is not the palette that I'm gonna go for yet. This is $52 and it's available now. It does have duochromes, multichromes, mattes, and shimmers. I've heard good things about their formula. I'm not really called to this color story, and I think it's just a little late to be releasing these Halloween themed spooky palettes. I think they missed their window there. The greens are kind of what's holding me back. First of all, it's a green background. Then you have like 4 green shadows. Granted, 2 are mattes, 2 are shimmers, but it's just a little too green heavy for me. And while I like green, I like more of like a forest green, an olive green, kind of like a gold undertone green. And this is a lot brighter than what I like in my greens. Of course, it has purples. I like that, but the oranges don't call to me. So Sugar Drizzle's on my list over Trixie Cosmetics, but this is not the one that I'm going to be pulling the trigger on just yet. They did have their Pickle palette, which I think is pretty popular, and that one's kind of the one, like, out of everything Sugar Drizzle has launched, that's the one that I would want out of all of them. However, I'm just waiting for a new one that calls to me, and this one is not it yet. And then we do also have the new launch from Lunar Beauty. So this released on April 20th. It already released, and this is the Siren Sunset. It is $55 with the lipsticks $18. And I believe that some of these shadows are improved shimmers. I'm not really sure. You know, I've bought quite a few Lunar Beauty palettes over the years. I bought the Greek Goddess. I bought both Moon Spells. And I still have the Greek Goddess, but I haven't used it. And I bought both Moon Spells, I already said that, and I decluttered both of them because I never used them. And they're, at this point, like, kind of old, and they were just sitting there unused in my collection, and I figured, why am I hanging on to this? So I decluttered both of them, and I don't know why, like, I'm drawn towards this palette. I like how it has a row of neutrals. You kind of have, like, those purple shades. I like this palette, but for some reason I buy it and then I don't use it. So I'm gonna pass on this palette. I mean, it is really pretty. I did watch some videos because I knew that I wasn't going to pick it up. So I'll watch a video if I don't plan on picking it up and kind of see what people think. And a lot of people like the formula. Granted, they were giving it to them in PR, but it seems like a very pretty palette. And I could see people picking it up and liking it. Just for me, I don't think that it's something I'm going to get use out of. I do like that top row though. But I don't need it. I don't need it. These are just normal neutral tones, cool tones on the top row, if you can see the picture. And, you know, I probably have that in the 1111 palette, so I definitely don't need this. It is pretty though. I like it a lot, but it's just something I know that I'm not going to get my use out of. So I'm going to also pass on that. This I'm also passing on. You know, I'm just not feeling the new makeup release launches as of yet. There's been like a few I'm really excited on, but they're not like, so I need to have them. I'm immediately like add them to cart, other than Huda Beauty. They're all just things like, yeah, I want them, but I don't need them, can't justify it. This, however, is the About Face Beauty, and these are their smoke sticks. So there's 6 shades. They are waterproof, transfer proof, sweat proof, all night wear. They came out October 24th, so they're out now. I do not have a price on these. Shadow sticks are getting a lot of talk, a lot of hype. About Face, I have not tried yet. They are on my list to try, probably under Sugar Drizzle, but above Trixie Cosmetics, just because their aesthetics a little bit outside of mine. That's why they're a little bit lower, but I've heard really good things about the brand. I'm just not a shadow stick person, and watch me put my foot in my mouth once again, and all of a sudden I'm into shadow sticks because everyone else is. But I've tried shadow sticks before and I just don't use them. I have some in my makeup drawer. unopened. I don't reach for them. The ones that I do have opened, I don't know when the last time I used them are. So I know this is like trending, like this quick and easy makeup, but this is just a trend, and that's what I need to remind myself is once the trend's over, I'm gonna have a bunch of shadow sticks I'm not using. And that's why I'm just trying to pass on this. If you try this and it's excellent, like let me know. I do kind of want one of the Rare Beauty ones. I've heard really good things about those. The Fenty Beauty, I think I could pass on, but the Rare Beauty ones do look pretty. I do prefer, if I'm gonna get a shadow stick, I would rather it be more of a shimmer than a matte, because a powder eyeshadow and a matte is just so much easier than blending out a matte eyeshadow stick, in my opinion. I'd rather just use a shimmer one to add that extra sparkle, but I don't know. Yeah, tell me what you think, because there's been a lot of shadow sticks releasing as of recent, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm gonna try and just stick with my gut instinct though. I have one last thing to talk about and we'll be done for today. This is from Revlon, and they are extending their Illuminance line. Their Illuminance foundation was really, really popular. So they're now coming out with a skin tint as well as a gel serum blush. Now there's like I was gonna pick this up, but there's like some kind of confusion. At least I'm confused. It was like a pre-order on Amazon, but then they like pushed the date back. I don't know when this launches, but the serum is $14, 16 shades. I don't know about that. And then there's 4 shades of the blush, and it's $11.83. I don't think I'm gonna pick up the blush. The blush doesn't interest me, but I love foundation. I'm never upset to try a new foundation, so I might pick up this foundation, and then I might pick up the original as well and just maybe do like a side-by-side comparison of the two. Obviously, I'm assuming this has less coverage, but is one like the obvious winner? Like, does this beat out the original? We'll have to just wait and see. So if you want that video, if you'd be interested in a comparison video between the two, let me know, but I kind of think that's what I'm gonna do. That sounds like a good plan to me, because I like doing comparison foundation videos as well. But I'll just have to keep an eye out on when this even launches, because I have no idea. I just don't. That's all that I have to go over this week though. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I do only do this video every 2 weeks, not every week. So that way I have a little bit more to talk about. I know it's a longer video, but that just works for me. Let me know what you think of all the new releases down below, what you plan on picking up, what you plan on skipping, what you're just trying to hold strong on skipping, because there are definitely things like that for me. And I'd love to know that I'm not the only one in the same boat who maybe wants some things, but like, you need to just constantly remind yourself you don't need them. It's just makeup, and there'll be something else that you want more down the line. So let me know all your thoughts down below. This is where I'm gonna leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.